So we now come to the last lesson under evaluating messages and or images. We were able to discuss on the signs, which are the linguistic landscapes, and on the study of this one that is termed as the geosemiotics, the kinds of signs, the different online landscapes in which we could derive different interpretation of the signs because of the different online landscapes available. Now we come up with the general criteria for evaluating messages, and we're going to know that once we discuss on semiotics and text analysis. So what is semiotics? Semiotics is concerned with everything that can be taken as a sign. Semiotic involves the study not only of what we refer to as signs in everyday speech, but of anything which stands for something else in a semiotic sense. Signs take the form of words, images, sounds, gestures, and objects. So everything that stands for something, okay, we could make use of semiotics to interpret it. So signs consist of signifiers, the sounds and images, okay, the piece itself, and signifies the concepts. The sign is the whole that results from the association of the signifier with the signified. So the relationship between the signifier and the signified is referred to as signification. It just means that once there's a harmony between the images or text or signs and then the concepts behind that, there's already the what we call signification. So for example, if you hear the sounds represented by the letters B, O, Y, or a picture of a boy, which is the signifier, you think of the concept, the male child, that is the signified. Together, the sounds of the word or the picture of the boy and the concept creates by the sounds or the picture form a sign. So in the past, sign systems, which includes language, literature, cinema, architecture, music, and so on, were studied as mechanisms that generate messages. But now the work that is produced through them and the individual who produced the work are the ones being examined. So in other words, the emphasis are not only on the work or activity that constitutes or transforms the codes, but also on the individual who constitutes or transforms the codes while performing the work. So the work and the individual are therefore the subjects of semiosis. Again, the work and the individual are the subjects of semiosis. Semiosis is a term borrowed from Charles Sanders Peirce. Okay. It is the process by which a culture produces signs and or assigns meaning to signs. But since meaning production or semiosis is a social activity, subjective factors are involved in each individual act of semiosis. So the notion then might be relevant to the two main emphases of current semiotic theory. One, semiotics focus on the subjective aspects of signification, okay, where meaning is interpreted as a subject effect. So the subject being an effect of the signifier. So like for example, when we interpret a certain sign, we generalize what it is all about first before identifying the signifiers, which are the sounds and images, in order to come up with the meaning of the symbol. Another one, semiotics, focus on the social aspect of signification, its practical, aesthetic, or ideological use in interpersonal communication, where meaning is constructed as produced through culturally shared codes. So it means that after the identification of the subject of the sign, we now come to our analysis or interpretation as a viewer. Okay. So in other words, the signified can be understood as the mental concept it represents, which is common to all members of the same culture who share the same language. So this means that there are three main areas of interest: the sign itself, the codes or systems in which the signs are organized, and the culture within which these codes and signs operate. So the sign itself, the image, the codes or systems in which the signs are organized, we now come to the study of it with in which we're going to involve geosemiotics, and the culture, okay, in which we're going to talk about how a certain linguistic landscape is being interpreted by viewers with different culture. So that's all about this general criteria for evaluating messages and or images. We must take into consideration how it is being studied, and that is through semiotics. Thank you.